So we got some breaking news on the economy. The CPI report has out for September. It came out about 8:30, showing inflation rising in September, but at a cooler rate than expected. Investors reacted. They're jumping all over this thing right now. That's the Dow up about 400 points and the NASDAQ up a little more than 1% for the entire index. So major move at the moment. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett, North Lawn. Sir, thank you for coming back. And we always invite you on big days like this. And thank you, sir. I want to read the headline from the Associated Press, then we'll dig into it, all right?
Sure.
U.S. inflation stays inflated. Sorry, let me get it right. U.S. inflation stays elevated, but prices rose less than feared. What's your reading, Kevin?
Yeah, I think this is actually a really great report, and the market is responding appropriately to really good news because 48 economists for Bloomberg said that this number was going to go way up. And if you look at the core CPI, which is the thing that economists rely most on because it takes out some volatile things like gasoline, that it was down from August and below expectation and headed in the right direction. And the top line number was a little bit up, but that was because there was a refinery shutdown in September, and so gas prices went up. But we've already seen that gas prices are going way down in October. So the next time we get a CPI release, when they open the government again, then we're going to see even further reductions in inflation.
We got some reaction from the other side. Let me just throw this out. I want to know how you address it.
Okay.
This is Representative Cuellar out of Texas, the Democrat. He says, I see an opening here. And we need to jump on that and just really focus and repeat over and over and over that we Democrats are interested in bringing down costs. And that was the 13th of October. Chuck Todd had a post. Republicans got elected for one reason, bring down costs. The Trump administration has abandoned that platform to enrich itself. I imagine there's a few things that you take exception to there. Go ahead, your response.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything shows that he's not been trained in economics nor been a market watcher ever in his life. The bottom line is the markets are responding not because they think inflation's going up, but because they believe, as we know is true, that inflation is headed in the right trajectory. And here's what I would like to say about that, that if you go back and look at the history of the Biden administration, then what people are going to say is that Biden's runaway deficits caused the biggest inflation spike basically we had since the 70s. There's no dispute about that, really. Well, why is inflation going down now? Well, it's because President Trump's policies are set. We just did the calculation to reduce the deficit by $600 billion this year alone. And that's because we've got Laffer curve effects, so tax revenue is up about $200 billion. We've cut discretionary spending already this year by about $200 billion, and we've got the tariff revenue. And so we're doing the exact opposite of what Biden did to feed inflation. And so, of course, inflation's going down.
Okay,
that's the only way it could go.
Yeah, you mentioned tariffs. Let me read again from the AP. Core inflation cooled to 0.2% from 0.3% in August. Would that number have been better without the tariffs?
No, we've found almost no evidence that the tariffs have done anything like what the Wall Street people said they would do to inflation. And the reason is something that I've been saying over and over, and I think now we're starting to believe that we've been proven right, that the reason why we had these big trade deficits, say, with China, is that China thinks that it's got to sell a lot of stuff to us to maintain political stability. And so if we put a tariff on their stuff, then they cut the price so that our consumer is basically still able to demand as much stuff as they need to sell to be politically stable. And so if we look at import prices, they've actually gone down a lot, and the people from other countries have been bearing the vast majority of the tariff. And that's proven out in the CPI data, where there's basically no evidence of tariff.
Okay, I've heard you make that argument before. We'll come back to that again, over the coming weeks and months. Two more points.
Some point we'll be wrong.
I got a minute and a half. I want to get two more points, okay?
Okay.
What's going on with Canada? Here is the Truth Social posted last night. Canada cheated and got caught. They fraudulently took a big buy ad saying that Ronald Reagan did not like tariffs, when actually he loved tariffs for our country and its national security. I've seen the video going back to the 80s from the Presidential Library. What's with this latest spat, and how far does it go?
Well, I don't think that anything that the President truthed yesterday is about just one thing. The fact is that the negotiations with the Canadians have not been very collegial. They've not been going well. I think the president's very frustrated. He wants a great deal with Canada, just like he wants a great deal with Mexico. But a sign of how difficult the Canadians have been is that we're now kind of negotiating with the Mexicans all by themselves rather than looking at all three.
I'm sorry to jump in here. I'm just trying to get nothing. I got one more thing to get to here, and they're trying to wrap me. Was that a point of negotiation that we saw last night? Is that what that is?
I think the president's very frustrated with Canada, and he has a right to be, and I think that's what that is.
Okay. On the shutdown, day 24, how concerned are you that that affects what we're talking about now with the economy? What's your measure of concern?
Right. Well, the measure of the effect is, first of all, the 750,000 workers that aren't getting their paychecks. It's really disruptive for their lives, and that disruption is happening because of the Schumer shutdown. We want the Democrats to open the Senate, and then we're happy to talk with them about any policy they want to talk about. But the actual GDP effects are starting to be seen but we just have high frequency data that's not government data. But we expect that it's going to reduce GDP by about 0.1% for every week that it's shut down.
Okay, well, if it continues, we may not get these inflation numbers next month. But we shall see. Kevin Hassett, thank you for your time. Much more to get to, and we'll get back to it next
Great to hear.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.